three filmmakers with nothing in common. They thought they had it all figured out. They don't just follow the movies, they make them. Alexander Pavlak, Mario Silvas, and Jamaal Alexander are the makers on film.
Yeah.
I just heard of a cat open back there. I want to go get a beer.
Yeah, was that you?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I'm grabbing a beer. I'll be right back.
I'm drinking whiskey and ginger beer and grenadine out of a mason jar.
I don't know.
Mario wins.
I don't know if I should be impressed or feel sad for you.
What? I went to a garage sale this week and this dude was selling like 32 big 32-ounce mason jars.
Okay.
He's selling like 12 or 13 of them for like $2.
Oh, nice.
I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take all of them. So I got them all, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna be an adult tonight. And I pre-made like 3 drinks, and it's fucking 32. Like I have half a gallon of whiskey, like easy within the 3 fucking.
It's like what is that? 90 ounces?
64 ounces.
64 ounces.
We're all already drinking. Let's just make this a game. Like, let's try to drink as much as we can in this episode.
No, I was trying to sell off my bar set and I dumped out all my booze. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But nobody wants to pay $100 for a really sweet bar set.
Well, no, dude, it's fucking Tucson. Nobody wants to pay money for dick out there.
Yeah, I know.
Something tells me, based on just how hard it was for me to find like actual space westerns, the show's gonna be short anyway this week.
Seriously?
Did you find a bunch of them?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you use the suggestion I gave you?
Actually, I rewatched the series.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I did that, and then I watched Cowboys versus Aliens.
I'll accept.
What do you mean you'll accept it?
It's not really a space western, but I'll accept.
How is that not a space western?
A space western.
Are you talking about a western in space?
Yeah, like Outland.
You know what? He's really gonna have a problem with mine then.
No. Like I said, it's fine.
What did you do, Alex?
I'll wait for the show. But you guys,
oh, God.
You guys want to start?
Tell me that you didn't do Galaxina.
No, I didn't do that. Although I saw that in the list in my research.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but I think I'll just watch that in my own time.
What? You know what that movie is infamous, right?
No.
Google it. You'll find out. It's sad.
Why?
The
lead actress did not meet a good end after that.
What?
The actress or the character?
No,
wait, what was it called? Thumbelina?
Galaxy Lena or
Galaxy. Just type in space western. It's like one of the first ones that pop up.
It seemed to me like a Barbarella ripoff, and Barbarella wasn't all that great, so I wasn't.
It's very tongue-in-cheek. It knows what it is, and it's more of a spoof than anything else. But the guy that directs it was supposed to be somebody one day, and never turned out to be anybody.
Now with a title like Galaxina.
Well, no, if you read his Wikipedia, he was part of this little group that included Lucas and Spielberg when they first started up.
Sounds like
Galaxina. Okay, here we go.
It sounds like a bad car name.
It does, doesn't it?
Sounds like a bad porno.
It sounds like the Ford Galaxina. You wouldn't buy that shit.
Right after you said that, you're like the Ford Galaxina. The first thing I read was, in the 31st century, man finally created a machine.
Now just go to the wiki. Like, it'll tell you what happened to the chick.
Oh, you guys never saw my porno, did you?
You have a porno?
Starring or?
Based on a character that I created, and then yes, starring.
You were in a porn?
I can say the phrase no.
It's on YouTube.
What was the title?
Why would you ask that?
Because I've been to Flight in the Eye a bunch of times. I've never seen that on your channel.
Because it wasn't done under the Flight in the Eye. Although I could probably put it on there because I was in it.
Please don't.
No.
But it's called Ramjet. Ramjett.
So how far are you along in that Galaxina tragedy thing that happens after the
Oh,
end?
dude, she just got murdered. I thought it was gonna be like something fucking crazy out there, but no, she was murdered by her estranged husband.
Like shot her in the face, defiled her corpse, and then shot himself in the face. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty tragic.
That was after the premiere of Galaxina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was after that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that sucks, but I was expecting something like fucking
She went into porn.
I mean,
like something bad. Well, terrible
was-
bad. She fucking died.
no,
Okay.
keep going. Because terrible bad. This is not terrible bad to you.
Well, so you haven't got to the part where she got reanimated and then was forced to make Galaxina 2.
Oh, is that what it is?
That'd have been super sad. That'd be a tragedy. Okay. I've tried very hard to like just embrace all of what Alex just said before we went back to Galaxina.
Oh, the fact that he did a porno.
Yeah. Oy. You really drinking all of that mixed together into one drink?
Oh god, it's not gonna be pleasant.
How is it so far?
No, I'm saying after 32 ounces of it, it's not gonna be pleasant. No, have you never had a highball?
No,
What? It's delicious.
never had a highball
It's-
before. I'm really not into like mixed drinks. I either drink something straight or I just drink beer.
Dude, you gotta try a highball.
Googling what a highball is right now.
I just told you right now. I put grenadine in it personally because I like the little bit of sweetness to it.
Yeah.
But it's ginger beer, whiskey, and grenadine, and it's like it's almost like a cherry liqueur.
You know where you sort of lose me there? Ginger beer. I hate ginger beer.
It sounds like something that would have been on Harry Potter.
It does. But I've had it before. I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of ginger beer?
No.
It takes a while to get used to, honestly.
Okay, so can we start the show now?
I thought we were
That's up
started.
to you, yeah.
All right.
That's usually what we do on the show anyway.
Yeah, I know. I just like to get the intro out of the way first, so I don't have to do as much editing. Because I'll just put the intro at the beginning, and then the rest of this will be, or I'll just do it as is.
What?
You know, editing and stuff. You used
Start
to
the show.
back in the day with the computer and the mouse and the other mouse.
Start the show.
Hello and welcome to Makers on Film. I am your resident writer director, Alexander. With me, as always, is our sound guy, Mario. Mario,
Hello.
go ahead and make
What?
noise.
What?
Make a noise. Do it. Make a noise.
What?
Make it. Do it.
What? I'm not a trained monkey, bitch.
Yes, you are. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. Also with me is our trained monkey, Jamaal. Jamaal, act up and do shit.
Come on, brown man. Do it.
Considering
Be
where
his
I'm from-
whore.
Considering where I'm from, that's sort of racist right now.
What?
The monkey thing.
Why is that racist?
What?
Where are
You
you
don't don't call black people racist, and you don't call people from the islands, or you don't call monkeys. You don't call people from the islands monkeys because there's actual monkeys there, and it's an incredible insult.
I call black people racist all the time.
Yeah, I call him.
No, monkey.
Okay.
And there goes half our viewership.
Oh, what? There goes 3 of them?
We only had 4.
Oh, great. 3/4. Way to go, Mario.
Woo.
Okay, so have you guys heard about Alex Rocco?
Who?
Seriously? You don't know? Have you ever seen The Godfather?
Oh, was he the guy that just passed away recently?
Yeah, Mo Green.
Huh.
He was the guy who
Oh
was,
shit, son, him.
shot in the eye in Godfather.
No fucking way. He just died. Oh yeah. Some bitch.
Yeah.
Studio City. What, like 4 fucking days ago?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's a veteran character actor. He's been in a shit ton of things. You
Yeah.
see him on TV all the time. He's got that signature voice. That's just. He's been in a lot of DC cartoons too.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he does a lot of like voice acting too, because he does have that sound to him.
Mhm.
While we're at it,
Okay.
Satoru Iwata. We've all discussed this one, right?
Who?
What?
Satoru Iwata,
I don't.
the fucking like the president of Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking Google it. Yeah, dude, he died.
Oh wow. How did he die?
Uh,
Tell me
That-
it had something to do with katanas, please. Dear God, tell me.
yeah, that's what it was.
Wait, that guy's like how old?
Uh,
Died at
fucking
55. That is sad.
Yeah, that's not that old actually.
nah, he was a young guy. Just went to the hospital and then just stopped living, kind of thing.
He had a tumor
let's-
in his bile duct.
Oh, that's a shame.
You know what's really fucking scary is that my girl is going into the hospital for that too this week.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
is she a 50-year-old Asian man?
No.
Okay.
Not that he's aware of.
Fucking if she is, dude, if she is, she plays it off really fucking well.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Like the Japanese, they take their cosplay seriously, man.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great. One of these days, she's gonna pull off that rubber mask like in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, right. Just, damn, you got me, girl. All right, we're.
Mario-san,
But
I fool you.
yeah, he ended up passing away on the 11th.
You know how you said he was the head of Nintendo?
He was
Yeah.
the fourth president and chief executive officer of Nintendo.
Do you know how Nintendo started? What their first games were?
No.
They started back in the 1800s, and they were producing playing cards for poker.
Some bitch.
Yeah,
They've always been in the entertainment business.
pretty much they have.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
kind of coming full circle because they're starting to like start produce. Everybody's starting to go into like slot machines and shit. So
Yeah. And they just said, nah, fuck it, we're going to keep going all the way.
Yep.
Yep. So I'd like to offer another brief second for him.
okay, now we can go into our regular tomfoolery. Did you see Jenner, formerly the artist known as Bruce Jenner, the athlete known as Bruce Jenner? What is her name now? Caitlyn
Caitlin.
What is
Jenner. She
what
won.
is she-
What?
Good, good,
I
good.
was gonna say she won the ESPY award. What was that, a couple weeks ago?
I'd heard of that.
It was like a lifetime achievement award or something.
Fucking really?
Yeah. Do you know why she won the award?
Because
But she's-
she was very public about her transition, and that's in sports especially. That's not very common.
Because she made a deal with ESPN that she'd plug the show and her award on her new upcoming reality show and on the Barbara Walter special that she's doing.
That too.
Yeah, you know, also today, and this is the last I'm going to say about it, but this really kind of ticked me off. Everybody's holding her up as like the every man transgender. I'm not even sure. The every transgender. And you know what she bought today?
Something ungodly expensive that she doesn't really need.
A brand new Lamborghini.
Thought so.
And it's not just, a Lamborghini, it's the VT Lamborghini. Or the,
Oh shit, yeah, I just saw that.
yeah, that blue gaudy monstrosity
Yep.
of a vehicle that is probably the substitute for the penis that she lost.
Ugh.
Which, don't get me wrong, I would fucking totally drive that car.
I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, I'd totally put it into the ditch or something, but
Well, you do realize that Lamborghini is the car that most rich people crash within a 24-hour period? Because
and you also realize that most Lamborghinis and what are they, Ferraris, are all automatic or pedal shift.
yeah, those you know how difficult it is to drive those paddle shifters in like actual traffic.
Yeah.
The worst thing they could ever put on a car.
Yep. But most Lamborghinis and Ferraris nowadays are all automatic. and if the company actually, like the Ferrari or the Lamborghini company, actually gets an order that's a manual, they legally have to call back the customer and ask them if this was a mistake or not.
All I'm finding is Kendall Jenner buying a Lamborghini. I don't see Bruce or Caitlyn or whatever buying one.
Yeah, that's not
Really?
Caitlin's.
No,
I don't know,
that's the daughters, and which is still as bad. Why are you buying a 20-year-old a Lamborghini?
because fuck life.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you can afford a Lamborghini, maybe they should think about having somebody else as their spokesperson.
Yeah, but it's you don't need a spokesperson for something like that.
At least Caitlyn Jenner understands what she's getting. She's got herself a Lamborghini. The Kendall Jenner probably just thinks she's got a nice little European car. As me, the car guy amongst us, it peeves me off just to see the little kid get it instead of the person who would appreciate it.
You know, Lamborghini is made by Volkswagen, right?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, car guy burn!
No.
It is because
I'm googling it right now.
it's under the Audi name. It's basically the Audi V8 or whatever what's his face drives in the transporter. But Audi is owned by Volkswagen. Of course, Porsche was owned by Volkswagen for the longest time, but BMW I think ended up buying it.
Lamborghinis are still made in under the Lamborghini banner in Italy. So
Yes, but their
yeah,
parent company
you're right.
is Volkswagen.
You're right. They are owned by Volkswagen. I mean,
Yeah.
but nobody makes the connection that Volkswagen and Lamborghini are one and the same.
Unless you watch
The
Top
name
Gear.
is a name.
Say that again.
I said no, but because a name is a name. If someone says, "Oh, I own a Ferrari," or "I own a Lamborghini," what are you gonna
Yeah,
think? Oh, this
yeah.
guy's got money. You're not gonna think, "Oh, this guy cheaped out because he has a fucking Lamborghini owned by fucking Volkswagen."
Well, that's the point I'm making. Like nobody thinks of Volkswagen when they think of that. And
Yeah.
You,
it's
you know
still
you
good
know why Lamborghini started making cars the way they do?
because Ferrari wouldn't sell them.
No, it's
No.
got. Oh fuck! It was some guy. He was a
No, wait.
farmer.
Yeah,
He was a farmer.
Lamborghini was actually making farm equipment like tractors. And then Ferrari came around. Enzo Ferrari started making fun of Lamborghini for making farm equipment when they should be making cars, so they switched to cars.
Yeah, just to show him up and say like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I can make the biggest and best thing for you."
yeah.
Yeah, Lamborghini did that to Henry Ford too, and was it? Yeah, it was Henry Ford, and he got really pissed because they were going to sell Ferrari to Henry Ford, the whole company,
Mhm.
and then backed out at the last minute. So Ford went out and built what is probably still the best supercar in my opinion, the Ford GT40.
Damn it!
The original
Ugh.
GT40, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they still make new ones. The new ones look absolutely terrible, but
they
that
don't
original
look
one,
good at all.
yeah.
I like the look of the new one. It's just, from my understanding, it doesn't work worth a shit.
No, it works worth a shit for like 30 miles, and then you're kind of hosed at that point.
No,
If you're going off of what the guy on Top Gear said, that guy's a dick anyway. And he just doesn't like anything built in America. So he was nitpicking at stuff about that car.
no. When he says he drove it to the office and then had to have it towed back home because it wouldn't start, that's not nitpicking.
That's him. That's
car should
him probably
start.
doing something stupid.
I won't put it past him that he did something stupid to make the car not work, but it's also a Ford, so there's that.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Fords still make good cars. My car's been in 2 accidents. It's a Ford, and it's still running fine. By the way, I'm glad you guys watched Top Gear too.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
I'm
not gonna watch it now that the 3 are gone.
Are all 3 leave?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were buddies. They pretty much looked at the idiot and said, "We're 3 idiots together. It's either all 3 of us or not."
I'll watch the new show. I'll see what the new guys have to do. I just heard that Clarkson was being replaced. I didn't know that the other guys were.
No, they're deciding to leave.
Yeah, they're of their own will. They were actually asked to come back, and they just said, "Nope. Either you take all 3 of us, or we all walk," which is
Yep.
fine because they're probably going to go somewhere else together and make their own show.
Yeah, and that's cool that there's that kind of loyalty amongst the 3 of them. You rarely see that in TV or in any kind of entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So that's cool for those guys.
You know the guy that keeps getting hurt, James May, the eldest of them.
Yeah.
you always see how close they are whenever he gets hurt. Like, did you guys see him get thrown from a horse and like crack 3 ribs?
No.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That was on the one where they went down to Argentina and got chased out of the country. He's
Oh
just,
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I did see
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
And so yeah, whenever one of them gets hurt, you can really start to see what they're like outside of the show, which is kind of cool. I mean, I can't stand Clarkson.
Did you ever see the footage where Hammond? Yeah, Richard Hammond, where he almost got killed in the Top Fuel dragster in the.
Yeah. I
Oh
remember
my
that.
God.
That is some scary shit right there.
Yeah.
I okay, I don't want to say I won't watch the show, but if by episode 4 I'm not getting that same kind of, I mean, they should have a little bit of time to get like acclimated, but considering how that show's structured, 4 episodes.
Well, you have to. That show has been on the air for like 40 years, so
In one form or another, yes.
Yes, in one form or another. So the fact that it's changing over hands was just an inevitability.
I just didn't see it happening this soon, though. Like, the eldest one of them is the 61-year-old James May.
Yeah.
And I figured, what, maybe we got a good 5-6 seasons left before it starts to get old.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but it's like they're very loose with the tongue. So, and as from guys who are pretty loose with their tongue in America here on this podcast, you know, some of the things that he says are pretty borderline, and he's gotten in trouble before. And
yeah, like I said, I can't stand Jeremy Clarkson.
yeah, when you have sponsors and you have a network and you all that, they try to rein you in a little bit, and sometimes it kills the charm. But you know, sometimes it also makes you a little bit better when you have to figure a way around stuff. So
What kills the charm is their little England syndrome, where they're very insecure about England, so they disparage other, countries' cars. For instance, America, and well, they love the German cars for some reason.
well, see, that's not necessarily true. James May liked the older Cadillacs that were built for luxury, and Richard Hammond loves America inside and out. He has a Mustang and he loves it. So it's like every time.
Right? Have you heard James May describe the Hummer to you?
I'm sure he says that it's gaudy and garish and all that.
No, he doesn't even like wrap it up in like pretty words like that. He just straight up called it this piece of pig iron made by, idiots.
Well, they weren't too keen on the 300 when they test drove it, but it was great. The episode where they came to America, where they tested the Challenger, the Caddy RST or whatever it is,
And the Corvette.
And the Corvette. And James May was just in arms about the Corvette. He couldn't understand the car, and he hated it.
I think you mean the Caddy.
The Caddy, you're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. He hated the Caddy. He drove the older Caddy a season or 2 beforehand, and he loved that. It had a nice smooth ride, but he couldn't understand the new Cadillac until he got it on a winding road, and then he loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the fact that in some ways America automobile industry is actually playing catch up to the European automotive industry, and in some regards they have progressed a lot in recent years. But on the other hand, they don't understand the American cars either, because they always diss the Corvette for being made out of plastic. But we can make a car that's a Ferrari killer that's under $50,000. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Did you see the review of the last Corvette?
I'm sure it wasn't favorable. I'm sure they
No. They actually put it out there, and we said we went out and found another. I think it was like a Mercedes Benz or something.
Mm-hmm.
Put both of them on the track and said, usually and random, and they say usually at this part we say it's a great car, good try Americans, just keep trying. No, we're not going to say that this time. This is just a damn good car.
The new Corvette's a beautiful car, though.
Oh, it's an amazing car.
Every time I see it on the street, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because it looks like a fucking Ferrari.
Best car you've seen in a movie or a TV show?
Best car in a movie or TV show?
I don't care if it's the General Lee. I don't care if it's the Aston Martin DB8.
No, the DB8's a little played out. It was cool in Goldfinger, and when what's his face had it, Sean Connery had it, and then when Roger Moore came onto the scene, he vowed never to be behind the wheel of an Aston Martin, so they gave him the Lotus, which I thought the Lotus was pretty cool.
So your pick's the Lotus?
No, my pick is the A-Team fan.
Nice.
I like vans. What can I say? What about you?
DeLorean. Fucking DeLorean. Back to the
Oh,
goddamn
Yeah.
future.
yes. Yes, that is one of my favorite cars of all time. And you can get a brand new 1985 DeLorean, right?
Yeah. They're actually starting to resell them now.
Yeah, down in Texas. They used to
Yeah.
make them in Dublin,
Ireland,
Ireland.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Watch the getaway with Joel McHale. He actually goes there and finds the guy while he's on vacation, and actually gets himself like in his car, like a brand new stainless steel
yeah,
DeLorean.
but
Jesus.
because the chassis were made in 1985 and then they were just packed away in the warehouse, they're still considered a 1985 DeLorean.
Yeah.
They're not,
Nice.
but they're brand spanking new.
Yep.
And you can have a small V8 put into them.
Oh,
Oh, that's it. You just need a fucking big block. No big deal.
That would be awesome.
you know why I wouldn't put one in there, a big block in there or a V8. I don't.
Because they would have ripped the car in half.
No. There's something else. Like DeLorean makes a very specific kind of sound when you turn it on.
This
You're
is.
gonna miss that when you have something that sounds like it belongs in a muscle car in there.
Do you remember the Fiero?
I'd be okay with that. The Fiero. Jesus.
The-
That's like saying, oh yeah, I have an El Camino. Oh yeah, I got a fucking what were they called? The Falcos?
the Falcon?
Oh God, no, it was
I'm
the
looking it up. The Falco.
no, it was basically the it was Ford's answer to the El Camino.
Oh, the Ranchero.
The Ranchero. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, no, the Fiero was America's only attempt at a mid-engine car. No, wait, there was the Corvair. So it was
I
the
was gonna say, no, there
second
was
one.
a Corvair.
Okay, so it was America's second attempt. So, you see how well that works out for America. But it came standard with a 4-cylinder. You can get the GT version, which had an 8-cylinder. But you can get an ever so tiny V8 to drop in the back of that thing.
Jesus.
And when I say tiny V8, it looks like they chopped down the 4-cylinder and then they just stuck two of them together.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's funny.
It is like a baby V8, but you can get one in there. Oh, have you ever driven one of those?
No.
They have no power steering. There's no weight in the front, so they didn't give it power steering. It is
God.
it is the most uncomfortable thing to drive.
I can imagine.
Have you ever watched what is it, Jay Leno's Garage? Well, he has like a little YouTube channel now.
No, I've seen stuff about his garage on other TV shows, like what's his face? Ed Begley Jr. had a show, and because he's a conservationalist, and he would always go over to Jay Leno's garage. He was always doing something new wave. He had like windmills and solar panels, and the garage was completely off the grid, and he had cars that were steam powered and whatnot. So he was always over there. But no, I haven't seen anything directly from Jay Leno, but he has an amazing car collection.
Yeah, that's why I kind of bring it up. Like I think they shoot most of it inside like an actual garage he owns, and not all the cars that he kind of shows on the show, like he drives or showcases on the show, are his.
Mhm.
But in the process of just getting to that car, you have to go through the garage, and it is just stock full of like amazing cars.
Yeah, and they're from the beginning of car time to like present day, and it's
Yeah, I think he has like the what is it, like the first car that came, the Model T, I believe.
well, it's not the first car, but that's the first production car, the first mass-produced car.
Yeah, the first. Okay, so the first mass-produced one, he has that in his garage.
Do you know what car company Ford worked with before he started the Ford Motor Company?
No, well,
Cadillac.
yeah.
And they kicked him off the board of directors because they didn't think he was a good businessman or designer.
100 years later, he's still around. The quality of his cars, we can argue, but
Yeah. Well, I mean,
lately they've been putting together better stuff, like the ZTR S1 or.
yeah.
Hang on, I'm trying to get that name right.
The Ford Mustang Super Snake, which they produced 5.
Sorry, it's a Cadillac CTV.
Yes, the Caddies are nice.
The new little like sedan like coupes he has.
Yeah.
Oh, CTSV, that's the one.
They're all front wheel drive. Those the only thing I dislike about them.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the blocky look to them, but if I had to find of the blocky cars, like the squared out and kind of like sharp edges thing, this is probably the least offensive to me.
Yeah, but the Cadillac does it all on purpose. They try to stay true to that old fins and and whatnot look from the 50s. They try to incorporate that still into their cars.
Yeah, and I've never been a big fan of it. That's probably why I've never been. The only thing Cadillacs made that I really sort of liked were the Escalades, actually. Not for the exterior. The interior of those things are huge, and I think that's
Oh, yeah.
like those are the luxury cars now that James May is missing. Like those big, loud land boats they used to make back in the '70s. They just
Yeah.
turned them. They just turned them into SUVs.
Yeah, but he refers to SUVs anymore like as footballer cars. So he's rap
Yeah.
stars and sports figures buy them.
Well, you know they complain about everything under the sun on that show too.
They find them very garish. I mean, I'm sure James May has something practical-ish in his garage that he drives every day. Okay, well, why don't we get to the point of today's episode? Yeah, since this is not a car show, it's a movie show. Let's talk movies.
I asked about like your favorite ones in movies and TV.
Yeah, we said it. He said the DeLorean. I said the A-Team van. You didn't. I don't think you ever answered.
Yeah.
There's so many though.
We were able to answer.
I know, right?
All right. If I had to pick,
What are you gonna say, Kit?
See, I almost said Kit.
I knew you were going to. Yeah.
Because we were talking
I
about
probably
the Firebird.
could. I probably could have said Kit, but I mean, who can actually forget like the first time you saw that Mustang on screen with Steve McQueen behind it? If any cars have ever been given like the glamour treatment in a movie, it's that car in that movie.
That's one of the first, yeah.
So I'll go with that. If not that, then maybe what is it? The Gran Torino from Starsky and Hutch, or the Gran Torino from Gran Torino.
I like that one better. I think that one.
Yeah.
Is the car.
Yeah.
But what I dislike about Kit, and it's because of modern times, it's that when Kit came out back in 1980, whatever, it was futuristic to have TVs in your car. Now you buy them off the lot in minivans,
That's
and that
true.
it ruins the illusion for me. And
Really?
and they've done so many Knight Rider spin-offs and
Yeah, but does your car
sequels.
talk to you?
Yes. Cars talk to you now.
Yeah, they do.
The fuck that happened?
But they've done so many spin-offs and so many sequels to Knight Rider. There was Team Knight Rider. There was the Knight Rider reboot. It wasn't a reboot. It was a sequel. And none of them have done anything as cool as TV screens on the dashboard,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad. And they're trying. Don't get me wrong. They're trying. In the last incarnation, it was a Mustang, and the really suck thing about that show and why it didn't take off is because the Kit turned into other vehicles. So it turned into an F-150, and then it turned into the Flex, and it turned into something else. And I'm like, that is just the dumbest thing ever.
Right.
I'm like,
Like, if you wanted to do that, Kit could just transfer from one car to the other.
yes, that would be cool. Like Battle Armor or whatever, or like
Well,
tactical.
no, it's 2015.
He's
we
the
have
fucking
Wi-Fi.
Iron Man of cars. Like that's all he has to do. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jarvis.
It's like, well, what do we need for this? Oh, it's going to be in the desert, so we need a pickup truck, Oh, we're going to be, in high society, so maybe we should do like a Lincoln or something,
Yeah.
Well, no, hang on. Like it's 2015. We have like Wi-Fi and stuff. They can all just be on like the same network, and he just transfers or in all of them at once.
Well, they did Team Knight Rider where they had like 5 or 6 cars and a whole team of people, and each car had a different personality, and that one was just, oh my god, it was so lame. But anyway, so going to the main topic of today's show. Go ahead if you want to, Jamaal. Since it was your concept.
Oh yeah, I suggested that we all go out and find a space western, by definition a western or better yet, a sci-fi movie or a space opera with western themes in it. And should I just go with my movie first?
Yeah.
Sure, go for it.
Sure. I went and rewatched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Well, yeah. I heard somebody call it more of a space pirate movie.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Yeah, I would say more of a space pirate movie.
Right, and it is for like, see, whenever they're not actually stationary on a planet, it is a space pirate movie. Like whenever they're on any ship, that's the vibe I get. Until they actually go to places. Like for instance, the very opening of that movie where he's on a desert locale, he's moving through like well he has his six shooters by his side, and he's getting into a shootout with a bunch of guys with guns of their own. I thought it was very Western. I thought the kind of vibe to it was Western, and then it became piratey for the rest of the movie, or majority of the movie.
It kind of went back and forth. I think. I think he's by himself, so it's very westerny. When he's in the group of people, it's very piratey. He's kind of that lone wolf, even though that's not really how wolves work, but for lack of a better term. So he's very much that lone rider, that pale rider kind of thing, that high plains drifter. So
You know where I got the most Western out of it? When they went to the nowhere. You remember the skull of like an eternal that they turned into a mining community.
oh yeah,
They actually call that nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they were there, it just felt very much like that old world saloony type place that they go, the cowboys go to, and then get into
Yeah,
fist
right.
fights.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
yeah.
And then they go outside, and then they have a shootout, which is exactly what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
So I really got like a Western vibe to that, and I kind of and plus there's that one line that kind of like, for me, makes it a Western. I come from a planet of outlaws.
Yeah. We change planet to town. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt like that movie is a pretty good Western. It's I don't know that I could if there is another Western to compare it to the same way we compare Outland to High Noon. But I think it hits on all the key themes there. I mean, you could even replace the white hat with his mask and all of that. Like he always has something like that on. What is he if not a gunslinger?
It would probably be more TV, like Gunsmoke, or like the one about the Ponderosa, Bonanza.
Bonanza.
It's more like that as far as westerns go, because it's an ensemble cast, so you need that ranch of people.
Oh, what I just thought of right now, Maverick.
Maverick,
He's a lot like Maverick. He's that kind of a goofy con man / thief who moves from place to place and actually kind of just uses his wits to get him to the next town or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
You both have seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
Years ago.
It came out last year.
I still wouldn't refer to that as a space western, though.
It came out 2014.
Well, yeah. Anyway, okay.
I wasn't arguing you.
What was your argument against space western?
It just doesn't have the space western feel to it itself. It has elements of a western.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's not. It felt like more of a buddy sci-fi movie for me.
I can definitely see where that's coming from. Yeah.
It was.
Oh, you know what?
Obviously it was the Misfits. What?
Magnificent Seven.
Sort of, yeah. Towards the ending of it.
Yeah.
I'll concede that towards the ending of it, it gets that feel to it, but yeah. Okay, I understand where you're coming from, Mario. The buddy thing about it, and I think that's just how good that cast was together.
Oh no, it was a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. I really don't see it as being a western at any point in time. There were no western elements to it. Yes, he had a gun. Yes, he had certain personas from it. From different. What the fuck out my face, cat?
Why don't you just put him outside?
No, because when they start scratching at my goddamn my fucking door and my carpet, I want to get some of my deposit back.
So, well, what would you think Mario would have been a better movie for him to see then?
Well, hey, hang on. What's your movie?
Mario?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I did two things. I rewatched Cowboy Bebop series.
Oh, that's such a good series.
Love the fucking the series. If nobody's seen or heard of it before, fucking anime, blah blah blah, that whole deal. Back in the 90s.
What was that, like 97? Earlier?
Yeah, it was late 90s. fucking I can only come up with a movie. There we go. It was 1998. Yeah, you're right. It's a futuristic movie or a futuristic show with it. To me, it's the epitome of a cowboy western because it has space bounty hunters going along trying to get everybody, but at the same time, it is, I mean, within the name itself, cowboy. He's a bounty hunter. The character Spike Spiegel, he is a bounty hunter himself, and he has a ragtag crew that helps him get his bounties, and they all learn from each other in that whole thing. But at the same time, it's an action, it's an adventure, it's what's it called? Suspense at the same time. It's got a whole bunch of different elements to it, and it spans over. I mean, it only ran for 1 year, 2 years. Yeah, it only ran for 2 years. So it was like 25 episodes, 26 with the special episode.
I didn't realize it was so short.
Yeah, no, it was only one season.
Still longer than his sequel to this. The same guy that did this, Shinichiro Watanabe.
Oh yeah.
You remember Cowboy or Samurai Champloo, right?
Yeah, and see, that's something else I would also call a western.
Yeah,
I would call it a western. It's not. It's like an east.
It's like a samurai movie.
Western. Yeah, it's a samurai series.
It's a samurai movie, but what is a cowboy movie if not a western samurai movie? The Magnificent Seven is a ripoff of a tribute to the Seven Samurai.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's another great anime series that I would recommend to people.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not like a fucking weeaboo, like, oh, animes are my life kind of thing. No, if I find a good show, I'll watch it. Cowboy Bebop happens to be an anime, and it has a great cast too. I mean, with the Japanese cast, I'm not going to go into it, but I mean, they did a great job with it, and the American dubs, they did a great job with their work, with their casting as well. It's got memorable characters, and there's a lot of standalone shootouts too. And, the music itself, and it's one of the other characters. He's basically the captain of the ship. The ship is called the Bebop, but he used to be a cop, and now he's a bounty hunter. And then every once in a while, when they go into a town, he'll have to call up one of his old buddies and get some information on somebody. Just old school bounty hunter techniques. And it was fun to see again. Yeah, Jet. Yeah. It's a fun series to watch, and I would highly recommend this to people, even if you aren't anime fans. It's tons of energy. It's a lot of action. There's a great storyline to it when you can follow it, and it's all around fun. It gets you amped up to watch, cowboy series and movies.
Can I point out that a lot of those similar elements exist in Guardians of the Galaxy, the bounty hunter, the standalone shootouts?
Yeah, but those are within the movie itself.
Yeah.
I really don't see that as being a western, though.
Meh.
I don't know. What do you think, Alex? I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy is anywhere near a western.
It is. See, I would give it like an interpretation of a western, which is basically what a space western is. It's something happening in space that is very western-like, and space is supposed to be, the final frontier, yada yada yada. So with something like Guardians of the Galaxy, there is no way that they're going to get around a western type feel about it. Like no matter what they do, there's always going to be, especially with the main character, with Star-Lord, the way he is, he is going to be always referred to as a cowboy, as a maverick, as whatever. But the jailbreak sequence is very much they do it in modern times, but it's very much a cowboy thing. Cowboys started doing jailbreaks well before gangsters, well before modern times. The one can say that it all boils down to Star-Lord trying to save a town, but the town is the galaxy.
Yeah. Well, he does save a single town, like proper in that.
Right, but he saves the galaxy at that point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just, because with my choice, it's again kind of that same thing. It's an interpretation. It's a science fiction masterpiece with elements of a Western thrown into it.
Well, that's a space western by definition. So.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so I mean there are also pirate elements in it, and there are some gangster elements in it too. Um, the one shot of what's his face with the blue guy with the mohawk, where he moves his coat, he whistles, and that magic arrow goes flying out and kills everybody. That's a very Western-y kind of
Yeah.
move and kind of
Yeah.
moment. So yeah, it's peppered with a lot of those kind of things and a lot of those kind of characters, and even the pirates themselves with their long coats and with their kind of attitude and what they do, they're really kind of like guys who rob trains.
Even their accents, for some reason, like
You-
nobody questions why they have like the southern accents in space.
Well, nobody questions why in Star Wars they have British accents in space or Asian accents in space. So
This is true.
sometimes you just got to go with it
Yeah.
It's because America just took over space.
because they're all aliens to us.
Oh god, my headphones fell off. Fuck.
Quick, talk bad about Mario.
What? I didn't say nothing. Did you say something? I didn't say anything. You say something?
I
No?
definitely didn't say that he had the penis of an Asian man in his mouth.
Penis of an Asian monkey in his pants.
You know, my headphones are actually loud enough that I can hear you guys without them on.
So back to Guardians of the Galaxy being a.
Just making sure you're whores, alright?
I will still attest to the fact that you probably have an Asian man's penis in your mouth, Mario.
Nah, I have one in my pants, but not in my mouth.
By in your pants, do you mean in your butt?
Nah, it's on my front butt.
You. And I believe that's called a vagina.
Nah, not lately.
You guys know who T.J. Miller is?
I'm
He was
assuming black guy.
No, he was the comic relief in the beginning of the Transformers. He's in.
Oh, yeah,
you guys watch?
kind of hippie looking guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a comedian in real life. So they're on Marky Mark's private jet heading towards somewhere, and he looks over at Marky Mark and goes, "Hey, so do you still keep in contact with anybody from the Funky Bunch?" And apparently he did not.
And he got thrown out of the airplane.
Apparently he really
That's
does not like it when
funny.
you bring that up.
That's funny.
See, I bet you if you went up to Will Smith and called him the Fresh Prince, he'd be all like, "Hey, how's it going?" I think he would have. Yeah, he would have, because the thing about Will Smith is that Fresh Prince is his music career, Will Smith is his movie career, and he will bounce back and forth. He keeps that Fresh Prince in his pocket just in case he does a bad movie. He'll fucking drop another album.
But see, that's the thing, is that he realizes that those things don't. They don't actually define who he is.
Yeah.
It was a phase in his life that caused him to be in this next phase of his life.
Exactly.
This wouldn't be
honestly,
an issue
if it wasn't for Fresh Prince, we never would have known about, Will Smith.
Yeah.
At all.
This would be less of a problem if Wahlberg just straight up owned the fact that he was Marky Mark once.
Yeah. Fucking be happy.
If I had the opportunity to, well, first off, I wouldn't really want Marky Mark in a movie. If I was directing a movie, Marky Mark would be the last person I would have in it because I don't think he's all that great of an actor. But
he's not, but he's funny as shit when he says words.
I would totally just call him Marky Mark on the set all the time.
No. See what you do is you create a character called Marky Mark, so that way when he gets casted, you have no other choice other than to call him Marky Mark.
Well, see, that's the thing too. Like his brother Don Wahlberg, who
Donnie.
Also, is
Donnie
also
Don? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, Donnie Don.
I refer to him as Donnie Don all the time, and I bet you if he called him that in real life, he would laugh at that. He might be a little angry at first, but if it became a thing between you two, he would totally fucking laugh at that. He
Yeah.
seems like that kind of guy. He seems like he has a much better because his music career and his acting career has kind of been overshadowed by Marky Mark. But
Yeah.
if you ever watch their TV show, their the Wahlburger thing,
Wahlburgers. Yeah.
yeah.
oh yeah, I wanted to see that.
If
That
you
looks
ever
stupid.
if you ever watch that, Marky Mark seems like the biggest douchebag. He is that guy from Entourage that's based on his life. He is that guy. And straight up and down off the private jet into the limousine, driving down, he's all like, "Yeah, I robbed that place. Oh yeah, I used to steal cars from over here. Oh yeah, I got arrested over there."
Yeah,
He-
let's gloss over the fact that you used to be a violent felon.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
and that's good for a rap career. But he's okay saying that, but if you call him Marky Mark, he gets an attitude with you. Fuck that noise. You started your life out as Marky Mark, and that's how people of my age are going to know who you are.
Do you say fuck
Your
that
age.
noise again?
Yeah, which also people of my age say. They also say, "Homie, don't play that."
Just say fuck that noise again because it's awesome when you say it.
Yeah,
Oh.
can that be the title of this
Yeah.
series?
But
Yeah.
fuck,
Today's show. Fuck that noise.
fuck that noise.
There you go.
Well, you see, you got to put a little bit of the street into it. You can't just be all white and be all like, "Fuck that noise." No, you gotta funk it up.
Yeah, you're right. You sounded happy when you said it. You got to be a little angry when you go about
You
it.
got to be a little angry.
Yeah.
Oh, and like Ice Cube, you never hear Ice Cube going by his real name. I mean, he does sometimes go by his
He
real name.
does. Yeah.
Because he has like a really nerdy government name, I think.
But the thing is, he embraces being Ice Cube. He embraces being part of NWA, and there is nothing wrong with that. And there is nothing wrong with Marky Mark being part of the Funky Bunch back in the day.
Well, was it one of you guys that told me
yeah,
about
but
his son playing him
but
in the
when
movie?
you say that was you told us that.
I
No,
told you that. I told
Okay,
you.
was
okay,
he?
all right, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but there's a difference between saying, "Oh, I'm part of the Funky Bunch," to saying, "Oh yeah, I'm part of NWA." There's
Yeah.
a slight difference right there.
Yeah, just a little, just a tad. Yeah, that's the only thing that bugs me about him because I'm kind of a fan of Marky Mark. I think he's or Mark Wahlberg as he prefers to be called. I think he's a half decent actor.
Fuck that. He's Marky Mark.
But yeah, that's the thing that bugs me. The fact that he's he makes such a big deal about being called that. So what was your movie, Alex?
My movie was Shaft.
With what?
Shaft.
Yeah, Shaft.
What?
What you?
As your space western?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty close, right?
Yeah, no, that's good
Oh
enough.
my god.
It's close on the Guardians of the Galaxy. Shit.
Hey, it was 2-1 on that argument. I won.
No, I went with The Matrix.
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Okay, it's a little out there. How do you?
Yeah,
call-
you're gonna have to go a lot
a
harder.
space
to make that
western?
fuck.
Okay, go to the wikis or anything, but a space western by definition is just a western that takes place in space.
Well, this one took place in cyberspace.
Okay.
Fucking gotcha.
It's a sci-fi western then.
Sure, whatever.
That's a genre too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
sci-fi western's a genre.
Actually,
I don't know if I'd go-
Cowboys versus Aliens is a sci-fi western.
probably more so than a space western because they don't actually go into space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space kind of falls on top of them.
Well, see, and that's why I rewatched Cowboy Bebop as well.
Which is really a space western. That's a really good show.
But, with the Matrix, they do a lot of maneuvers that look like spacewalking. With their floating around and defying gravity.
It's not.
And their catching of bullets.
And they're catching of bullets. Well, they don't really catch them.
And so you think that makes it into a space western?
It's close enough.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm gonna go iffy on that one, buddy.
yeah.
Well, what part are you iffy about? The space part?
The
Because they're in a ship.
Matrix part.
They're
Yeah,
in a
all of it.
The Matrix part is just a computer construct that they go into to resolve conflict. The Matrix is the town can basically be called the town of Matrix, and it might as well just be a town. And that Neo is the gunslinger who comes in to save it.
Again, everything you're saying just makes me think more sci-fi western.
Yeah, I'm still going sci-fi on this one.
But they're on a ship that floats around.
Not in space.
It's in inner space.
It's still on Earth.
In the space in Earth.
No, you shut your whore mouth.
Just okay. No. It's not a space western. It's a sci-fi western. If that, because I don't think it's a western. I think it's a straight up Chinese martial arts flick.
No, it has a lot of Western elements to it. And yes, it does have martial arts to it, but there's a lot of gunplay. There's the basic costume that they all wear, which is the same, which is like a Western. There's even a part in the end when Smith and Neo face down each other that you see that paper fly across as they're on either side of the street, which is actually a subway platform.
Ooh,
But
piece
that
of
paper
What is it? Tumbleweed?
Yes, it represents a tumbleweed. It is.
Shut up.
No, it does. And what's the next thing they do? They draw their weapons and fire at each other.
I probably
And
should have
then
just said
why?
western. Period.
Yeah, I think we should go Western next time.
Yeah.
I don't know, Alex.
I do like it. Okay, I do see where you're trying to come from. There are elements of western in the Matrix, the sci-fi western, but they sort of pale in comparison to the overt Chinese martial arts influences there. I think everybody sees that, especially the aesthetic choices they make. By the way, every room they go into, I dare you to go look at Hero with Jet Li. The aesthetic choices between both those movies are the same. They're kind of these large open spaces.
You dare me to, Jamaal?
Yes.
He does dare you. He double dog dares you.
Fuck you. I'm gonna do it then.
But yeah, again, I see more of the there's a name for them too from the 70s. I'm trying to remember the Chopsaki films.
What's more open space than the desert and the Southwest? You live in the Southwest where westerns happen. It is all open space.
Still not the same thing. I'm talking about for instance, they all go into a large open area room where there's a bunch of old Chinese statues and stuff like that in there, which happens quite a bit in the Matrix, if you notice.
Why did you emphasize room twice?
He did.
Room, because he keeps saying open space as in outside. I'm talking about a large, a dance hall type thing that happens in every Chinese martial arts movie.
Those are called dojos, but they also have saloons, which usually are large open spaces inside.
But you just said it yourself. It's a dojo.
That's what he's referring to.
Yeah, that's what you just said.
That's what Jamaal is referring to. Jamaal just called them dance halls.
No.
Dance halls, they're dojos.
Well, there's a clear difference between the saloons in a western. Those are they're bars, and you can and the music's playing, stuff like that. Whereas in a Chinese film, you go into them and they're usually just adorned with old statues, things like that. And that happens quite a bit in martial arts films. I'm trying to think of one specifically right now. Again, Hero or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I'm trying to think of another Jet Li movie, but
yeah. So what you're saying is that Japanese movies use a lot of Japanese architecture. I understand what you're saying there.
Again, I was how are those Japanese?
What?
Okay, Chinese movies use a lot of Chinese architecture.
Oh God!
But I understand what you're
Asian.
saying.
Racist.
Hey, Mario just said they're all Asian, and he's half Asian, so he should know.
He's barely Asian.
Yeah, dude, I'm like the Mexican of Asians.
Yeah.
That's the other half of you, coincidentally.
Fine, actually, hold on, I'm Filipino, so I'm like the black guy of Asian.
No, you're the Mexican of Asia. You're an indigenous people. You're an indigenous people that another people came over.
No, see, I'd say Korean or Thai is the Mexican of, more likely than Korean is the Mexican of Asians.
Yeah.
You're Filipino?
Shut your whore mouth.
Anyway,
because you have such nice teeth, Mario.
I think I think we're losing the point of why I'm about the room. I'm talking about the aesthetic choices they make. I mean, they look more like something out of a Chinese martial arts flick than they do like a Western.
Well,
I do get the Western parts of it, especially the costuming choices they make there.
Yes, but in reality, what you're saying is that there was a Chinese dojo in the Matrix, so all of the Matrix is Chinese.
No, I'm talking about all the rooms that they fight in afterwards. Like, remember the beginning of the second one? They went to
I'm not
that.
talking about the second one. I'm talking about the only
Okay.
one that's good.
Okay, the first. Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about number 3.
Exactly. Because you can't get enough of that real world bullshit.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm
Jesus.
talking about the
I
first.
actually didn't think of the dojo when I was talking about this. I was thinking of the series as a whole, but even then, I don't. Then I don't see. Then I don't. Yeah.
See,
Then.
See, I don't count the other two because if you actually watch The Matrix, at the very end, he says to the machine, "I'm going to show you a world. I'm going to show these people a world without you," and then he flies off. And then the next two Matrix do not show a world without him, without the computer. So the other two Matrix are a lie. So I don't even recognize those as movies in the genre of The Matrix. I only consider The Matrix being The Matrix. They lied to us.
Okay, so for based solely on the first one, then I still say that I think anime. I don't think Western. Honestly.
Well, yes, there are anime parts, like in Galaxy
No, no,
Guardians of the Galaxy, there are piratey parts, but there's also westerny parts in there too.
Oh, I got something.
Okay.
Will Smith turned down the role of Neo to make Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, and then was okay with his wife taking a role in the sequels.
I mean, don't get me wrong, great movie. I fucking honestly one of my favorite movies out there too. Great film, shows just a fucked up future. And it's funny. As I was right after I watched Cowboy Bebop, I rewatched Animatrix. And
Ooh, hang on. I just typed in the Matrix Western, and there's an actual research paper that's titled "The Matrix: The Western Never Known."
And what does that say?
As
it
stated
just
by the title,
it just says no.
there is a great reason why The Matrix should be treated in the same context, although not identified as a Western. The film genre is steeped in tradition and lore. There are many definitions abound as to what may constitute a Western film. The main goal is to see whether or not this people forget it. Kid was obviously trying to fill up like 4 pages, so he's just got long-winded.
Ah, fuck, you guys are starting to break up. Is that just me?
Yeah.
Damn it. All right.
Are you gonna lose power again?
No, I don't. My internet's been shitty for the past week.
Well, you should call and complain.
Stop doing that!
What? Fucking, are you drinking ginger beer?
No, I'm not drinking ginger beer. I have taste.
Well, shut your goddamn mouth hole then.
I have taste again.
Have you ever had a highball?
No.
Then don't ridicule me. Have a
Ridicule,
highball.
ridicule, ridicule.
Have a highball, then you can talk. All right, child.
Ugh. Just the sound of it makes it seem terrible. Highball.
Fine, have a low ball then.
The hell's a low ball? Is there an actual low ball?
Yeah, it's the same drink, just in a smaller cup.
The fuck? Okay.
That's literally the distinction.
Is that how? Is that kind of like how spaghetti for lunch instead of dinner is called paschetti? You never heard that before?
No.
No, I've heard that before. Like, apparently, if you have lunch, you have spaghetti for anything other than dinner, it's paschetti.
Yeah, if you're 5.
Yeah, or fat.
So, well, you haven't heard of it. You're fat.
I'm not fat.
No, dude, he has a point.
I'm at $1.80 now.
Yeah, but you were fat. So
no,
Alex,
no.
Yeah, you're right. I was fat.
No. Don't ruin this. He's got to come to it on his own.
You know, at my fattest, I'm probably 160.
Punch you in the face.
Yeah, but he has a smaller frame than you and I. Gotta remember that.
Yeah, you're
He's
actually
wiry.
kind of like you're string bean.
Yeah, he's wiry. Like don't get me wrong, you're big, but you're also thinner.
Yeah, no. Actually, what I was going to say was that I was going to say something, but that reminded me of something else. I actually got around to watching that Kung Fury.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice. Were we supposed to talk about that? Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we were waiting until I saw it.
Yeah. It's a damn good little short.
It's fucking funny.
It's pretty good.
It's awesome.
I mean, the special effects in it are really good, but as far as the story goes,
It's just a spoof. It's not supposed to have a story.
Danger Five did the whole killing Hitler and thing better.
Yeah, that's an Australian comedy for anybody interested.
Well, where did Kung Fury come from? Because that's not American.
Yeah, that's Swedish.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
But Danger Five, for those of you playing along at home, is it's set in the '60s. It's kind of the '60s spy action film, and the five spies, because there's five of them. There's one's Australian, one's American, one's French, one's British, one's Russian, and their leader is an eagle, and he sends them on missions. And at the end of his speech, his instructions to them are, and as always, kill Hitler. And then Hitler is behind everything they do, and it's all set in the '60s in the first season. The second season is set in the '80s, and it's kind of got a Miami Vice feel to it. And Hitler, they thought they killed Hitler at the end of season one, but he pops up in the beginning of season two in the '80s in Rio de Janeiro, and starts wreaking havoc. And then they have to go and kill him.
Or you can watch the better version in 45 minutes, and that is Kung Fury.
Yeah, no, I don't think Kung Fury is the better version.
Potato. I love the what is it? Officer Triceratops.
Triceratops.
Yeah, Triceratops. Yeah.
See, the special effects, I will grant you, are better in Kung Fury, but the even Triceratops, the Danger Five did that better with the chief as an eagle, with Mackenzie with the lion head, which I think is awesome.
How is that better though? I mean, like Triceratops is a blatant kind of like spoof of that Whoopi Goldberg movie where she's partnered with T-Rex.
God, that movie sucked.
And apparently people have seen it.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
That is why that character's in there. It's a direct spoof of that. Back in the 80s, there were a bunch of like live action dinosaur movies.
Okay, well, Danger Five didn't need to spoof anything. They did an original thing with those kind of elements in it, and they did it first.
I prefer the spoof of Kung Fury, whereas like the plot is basically a series of jokes taken at the expense of the 80s. Like just the opening shot of early 1980s downtown Miami, and the place is just an absolute war zone. That was pretty funny.
Although it was fucking funny seeing that what was it called? The arcade just wrecking shop on people. That was funny.
Oh, that was good, and him battling all the Nazi soldiers in the vein of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty.
I mean,
good.
it was funny. Don't get me wrong,
but that's the thing. That's all it is. It's a short that just makes fun of the '80s, whereas Danger Five is a TV series that actually had a little bit of staying power to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually able to put together a weekly show, and even though it still spoofed those things of those time periods, it was actually able to continue on a story from episode to episode, season to season. It was more than just a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed them both.
I'm not saying that Kung Fury is bad. I'm just saying that Danger Five did it better.
I think Kung Fury did it better. I've seen Danger 5. I don't laugh at it, and it's kind of long-winded and boring. I like Kung Fury because it's like right there in your face, one joke right after the other. Just his origin story.
Why internet? Why internet?
What? Why are you yelling at your internet?
You there, guys?
Yeah, we're here.
There you are. All right, we're good. Cool. Nothing happened.
Well, just his origin story. Like his partner dying right there as he's like cut in half. and then a cobra bit him while lightning struck him, and something else happened, and then that was pretty funny. It was like a mash of like a bunch of different like old, origin stories.
No, I get it. I totally get it. But I didn't think it was any more funny or any less funny than Danger 5. I don't think that it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that they could do a series on. They might be able to do one more and finish it out, but I don't think that that's going to be something that is going to have any real kind of staying power. It's going to get
Yeah, no. Kung Fury is a standalone. There's no other way that they could do more than that.
Well, they ended it with the idea of a sequel.
Yeah.
But like I said, they could probably get one more out of it, and that'd be about it.
Well, how many people said that about Undercover, or not Undercover Brother, Black Dynamite?
There was only one.
And then a series that came after.
How well did that do?
It's getting another season.
What channel is that on?
Adult Swim.
Is it on Adult Swim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have cable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't watch that anymore.
Yeah, that was big about 5-10 years ago.
Apparently, it's still big. You guys just don't have access to basic cable.
They put all that stuff on Hulu. Oh, speaking
Yeah.
of, did you hear that South Park signed a 5-year contract with Hulu?
Yes.
They're going to be around for like 5 more years.
Yep.
That is fucking amazing. Now, talk about people who have stayed relevant. Those guys.
No, they haven't, but okay.
They totally have.
Okay.
How have they not stayed relevant? They're way more entertaining and way more edgy than The Simpsons. The Simpsons have so pushed out like fucking 10 years ago.
Well, Simpsons are around because they're American classic and people enjoy watching those. But I don't hear people quoting South Park anymore. I hear people quoting quite a bit of Family Guy.
Yeah, because Family Guy is small, bite-sized sound clips. That's all Family Guy is. It's just non sequitur joke after non sequitur joke, which is easy to quote. It doesn't really rely on storytelling as much as it relies on rapid fire.
But South Park does?
Yes. South Park is very biting and very much with social commentary.
I don't see that. I think it's just a series of crude jokes. They pick a topic of the week, and then just make one crude joke after another, which is fine.
And
That's cool for till you're 25. But no, Family Guy at the very least knows what it is and just kind of owns it. Plays into it actually, like they'll make episodes specifically with just a bunch of cutscenes in them.
Yeah, and I could see how somebody with a very short attention span could enjoy that. That guy from Memento who can't remember a conversation, the beginning of a conversation by the end of it.
I'm pretty sure 8 million people enjoyed it, but I like.
Well, apparently
South
a lot
Park
of people enjoy South Park because they just signed a 5-year contract with Hulu.
On Hulu. Anyway, South Park.
They're still on Comedy Central. It's just that after Comedy Central, they're exclusively on Hulu. They're not even doing their own website anymore, which shows you how big of a market that is. Because Hulu paid a shit ton of money for that.
Yeah, they paid a shit ton of money to keep the show alive. Like, I doubt Comedy Central put up that much of a fight to keep it.
No, it's still on Comedy Central. It airs on Comedy Central, and then
after this season, it's gone, right?
No, it still plays on Comedy Central.
Then
Comedy Central, it goes on to Hulu.
Then we're thinking. Then we're thinking. The way you described it, I thought they were just moving to Hulu. No, they're
not just moving to Hulu. They're going to still.
Yeah, they're just Well, what network doesn't have that anymore?
But all the back episodes are strictly on Hulu. If you want, they're not on Netflix. They're not even on the SouthParkStudios.com anymore. That website has been taken down.
I don't think that's a barometer for success, though.
If somebody's willing to pay millions of dollars for exclusive rights to your intellectual product, yeah, that is a sign of success.
I think that it's another property that Hulu now gets. I don't think that necessarily means it's it was a great show to begin with. Like, how many Emmys has the damn thing won?
It's actually won a couple. Here, give me a second. I'll look that up. But yes, they're an award-winning, an Emmy award-winning TV show.
So is Family Guy. We're talking in circles here.
You guys are really comparing apples and oranges. It's the funniest
Yeah.
fucking thing to listen to.
Well,
and
the real funny thing is that they did this on an episode of South Park.
they did. They're very, very bitterly.
Actually, they did a couple episodes like this. They did one where everything that they did was already done on an episode of Family Guy, and then they did another one where everybody thought that where Family Guy did the episode where they showed Muhammad, and that the Muslims were getting upset with that.
And the first one you're talking about, they were talking about The Simpsons, and they've always sort of had a reverence for them, and that's pretty cool of them.
It
Oh,
has
that's right, it
won
was Simpsons.
5 Emmy Awards.
South Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And how many has Family Guy won? I don't think they've won any. I doubt they've won.
Just said they did.
No, the more I think about it, no, they probably haven't won
I
any.
was like, yeah, you just said they did. Don't back out on that now.
So there you go. It's an award-winning show.
Nobody watches.
By your standards, apparently a lot of people watch it because it's very.
Do we want to compare ratings?
They've won 5 Primetime Emmy Awards as well.
Ooh. And who has a higher viewership?
South Park has the longest viewership, though.
A lot longer, like for like a decade. But who has the most viewers week per week now? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't.
What's the number?
All right, so let's see. For season 13, they were the 94th ranked show with 5.86 million.
Who was they?
Family Guy. I can't find any rating stuff about South Park.
No, it's a little different because it's cable, don't you know?
Okay, sure. 3.7 million in 2010.
Okay, well, what was Family Guy in 2010 then?
2010 Family Guy. 7.3. Oh no, wait. 7.73.
What's Family Guy's rating on IMDb?
Are we really gonna go through the process of arguing which one's better, which one's worse?
You started this. Go for it.
So it looks
I didn't
like
start
every
anything.
single. It looks like every single. Well, not every single. I'm just going over it really quick, but like all the awards Family Guy's won is like, top television series, best presentation, best voice actor, outstanding achievement in editing for broadcast animation, whereas South Park has gotten. They also got one for cinema audio. Yeah, for mixing for television. Best critic, things like that. Best theatric or best song written specifically for a motion picture or television. They also got another Grammy, or they got a Grammy for that. So basically, it's like technical awards that they've been winning, whereas South Park has been winning.
Family Guy or South Park?
No, South Park. That was all Family Guy that I was just mentioning. South Park has won. Like the best comedian or best comic series. Yeah, best comedy. They've won best comedy. Again, they've won outstanding animated program because that's why they have their fucking Emmys.
So they're beating out Family Guy in the Emmys.
Yeah, and they've won. I mean, shit, they've won AFI awards, best TV program of the year. They've won funniest television. Oh, they were nominated for that one. Family Guy wasn't nominated. American Comedy Awards, they were nominated.
So as far as IMDb goes, Family Guy has an 8.3 rating. Do you want to guess what South Park has?
Like a 9.1 or something?
8.8. 8.8.
8.8, so
yep.
There you go.
So
they're close. Yeah, I mean, the fucking South Park has won a lot of fucking awards. I mean, granted, they've been on the air for
23
close
years.
to 20 years. Yeah, I was going to say 23 years? They went on in 97.
As far as IMDb goes, it goes up to 23 seasons. So yeah, they're going into their 24th right now.
Okay.
And
So
they're
they
yeah,
do like multiple seasons a year.
Yeah. But from 97 to now, that's what, almost 20 years they've been on the air.
so as of right now, they're guaranteed to go to season 28.
Jesus Christ. What are they, the second longest running season now? Or
Uh,
series?
Yeah, because I guess they'd be right behind The Simpsons, which is probably close to like 25, 30.
Yeah, I mean, they've been going since 89, and so they're roughly like 27 years.
Okay, The Simpsons are at season 28.
Because The Simpsons are awesome.
Yeah, they kind of lost their bite.
Who cares about Bite? At this point, they're on there because they're the most enduring thing on television.
It's the same thing over and over. It's when they were cutting edge, they were good because they confronted the norm, which is what South Park has continually done. It's now
Eh,
they're just meh. They're just all their plot lines have really kind of conformed more to like a Family Guy plot line.
a Family Guy plot line involves actual, like, sort of like clever backhanded insults, whereas South Park is really more about the just crude.
South Park is not crude. Do you actually watch South Park?
I've watched South Park quite a bit. I'm not saying it's a bad show, but
They're
it seems like the point of the show is like, let's find the most offensive thing we can do and try to make a joke out of it.
oh, and Family Guy isn't
No,
offensive?
no, it's offensive, but for different reasons.
See, South Park takes topical things and shows the folly of the ways of the people who have gotten into those situations.
Name one comedy that hasn't done that in the last 20 years. Right. Back to The Simpsons, because we keep arguing about South Park and Family Guy, and I think everybody just saying we're arguing about apples and oranges. But what about the enduring legacy of The Simpsons? I mean, do you still care who shot JR?
I actually have no idea who ever shot JR.
Exactly, but apparently everybody still stops by Moe's every once in a while. Like, at this point, I want them on there because they're a beloved part of Americana.
Again, they were. I mean,
Hi, Dr. Nick.
My point
Sorry,
made.
I had to.
My point made.
What point?
yeah, I don't see how that is.
Dr. Nick? Isn't that
And-
isn't that a character on The Simpsons?
Yeah, Dr.
Yeah.
Nick Riviera.
Yeah.
Dr. Yeah.
See, everybody knows who The Simpsons are. Everybody knows about that. Like, I think it's just at this point they're living.
I'm not saying that nobody knows who the Simpsons are.
No, I'm just
saying
saying
that like Simpsons kind of ran aground like 10 years ago. That they were cutting edge and they were very biting, and that they had so much going for them, and then they just kind of they turned into like oh God, like fucking they turned into a sitcom. They were very biting and very much into social commentary, and then they were really kind of like poking fun at specific people who needed to be poked fun at, and then they became a situation comedy. And though yes, you can still find amusement in there. I tried watching an episode very recently, something from within the past 5 years, and I just found it very boring because it's like none of those characters are what they started out to be. It's like Bart Simpson was a troublemaker back in the day, and he's not anymore. I mean, he tries to be, but it feels very fake. It feels very very put on.
No, I will concede that the show has changed over time, but you're talking about it in the same way that people talk about their favorite bands. Like, they start off great and then they change, and people aren't uh, well, they're still good, but people don't think they're good anymore because they're not the thing they started off with. So back to film, which is why we have this podcast. I'm actually glad you picked The Matrix, because it is a very significant movie that I don't think we've talked about.
Oh, it is a very significant movie.
Like, like when we think of summer blockbusters now and like the huge special effects and stuff like that, the first movie that I can really think of that really falls into that category for me as the modern blockbuster, summer blockbuster, is The Matrix. That's the first time I actually saw a movie like that.
And you know what's really funny is The Matrix didn't blow up until, God, like 6 months after it was released.
I remember
mm-hmm.
something like that. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was pretty big at the theaters.
No, it was big at the theaters, but it wasn't until like 6 or 7 months later when word finally got out when everyone's like, "Oh my God, have you seen it? You need to see this movie."
But
Like it took them that long.
the Matrix was for the longest time the yardstick that most action movies were measured by, and
Oh yeah,
and
The
before
fact that
that,
every movie afterwards needed like wires and like the what are the cameras that Michael Bay loves them, the like a series of cameras strung together and they just put the
oh the
pictures together.
bullet time stuff.
Yeah, that stuff. The
Yeah.
fact that every action movie after that needed that after the Matrix should tell you just how important that is.
All right, well let me put it to you as well. I mean, fucking, not Michael Bay. God damn it, Nolan.
Yeah.
When he did Batman, not Batman, Inception.
Yeah.
Every movie after that had the bong
Yeah,
after it.
Yeah.
yeah.
see, that's
And it
what I'm
still
saying.
does.
Is that the Matrix was the yardstick back then that every action movie after it was measured by, and before that, equally as important was Die
Terminator.
Hard. No, it was Die
Yeah.
Hard. Die Hard was the movie after that came out. That was the yardstick that every action movie was measured
Yep.
by, and still to this day, it is Die Hard on a blank.
Yeah.
Like White House Down is Die Hard in the
Yeah.
in the White House. You know, Under Siege was Die Hard on a boat.
Snakes on a Plane was
Die,
Die Hard
Hard
with
with on a
snakes.
plane with
Die Hard with
snakes.
snakes on a plane. Yeah, no, but like Speed was Die Hard on a bus.
With
That's
an
that.
angry black man.
Well,
But
you'd be angry too if everybody kept calling you Lawrence Fishburne.
Nah, no, I wouldn't.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be confused. Personally, I'd be really confused.
I don't doubt the Die Hard stuff. I would put Terminator 2 on there too. Maybe even True Lies, because goddamn True Lies.
I've never heard anybody say it's the True Lies of blank.
Well, no, it's not that. It's more or less the first time I'd actually seen something done to that, I guess, budget and scope. Like the scene where they're flying over the bridge after it falls, and he's just holding out to Jamie Lee Curtis as she's dangling there. Okay,
that one scene, yeah, but it's like Die Hard really raised the bar, and then after that it was The Matrix, and
no, substance wise, yeah, definitely Die Hard raised the bar because that would the best things about that movie have nothing to do with the fact that it's an action movie. It's the stuff that happens during like when he's setting up for the next fight, like when you're following him.
yeah,
And there's the comedy there from Bruce Willis, who I hate now, but still there's the comedy there. And then there's always that suspense and always that thriller of what's around the next corner and stuff like that, and that's endured for this whole time. Well, it's an action movie carried by an actual like character instead of like the action movies we were used to, where it was just like the silent guy going from one scene to the next.
yeah. I mean, there were tender moments too, and especially when he's talking to Powell on the radio when he says, find my wife. If anything happens to me, find my wife, and I'm not going to tell you who she is, but by the time you need to, you'll know who she is. And he does his whole speech about how, she's heard 1,000 times that I was sorry, but she never heard that I was wrong. Just tell her that I was wrong. And he goes to a level and he takes this action hero to a completely different level than we've ever seen before. And it's not that we've never seen it before, it's that we've never seen it in an action film before.
Yeah.
So it True Lies it is an extension of that. Terminator 2 is an extension of that. It's really Die Hard that set the bar for those movies to rise up to.
No, it definitely set the bar for like actual substance wise. As far as I said earlier, that the Matrix is probably the first time I'd seen a blockbuster like with that kind of special effects and CGI and stuff like that. The more I think about it, the more I think of those two movies, True Lies and Terminator 2. They're still missing a lot of the elements that the avant-garde elements that the Matrix included in there, and then changed. Action movies could be artsy after that.
Yeah. Well,
And-
are you saying that True Lies was kind of artsy?
No. The Matrix was the first one
Okay. Okay.
made it okay for
Oh,
it to.
okay. I was
Okay.
confused. I was like, what?
Yeah, no. The Matrix is the first one that kind of said, "Hey, yeah, you can put like a little artistic flourish on there." Although we could have an argument about if you thought that that was the game changer in Die Hard One, what is the difference between Die Hard One and which alien was it where she fought him in the suit
In
Two?
in what suit?
in the like the mech suit
The
Oh
lifter
yeah,
suit.
that was 2. Yeah.
too? Yeah. So there's still that sort of horror element. In fact, there's a little bit more of the suspense and thriller there because people die in that one
Well, people died in the first one.
and in the first one. I mean, there's more reason to believe that she won't make it to the end than you do John McClane. I think not to say that I'm not disparaging Die Hard in any way, but I think that movie gets overlooked quite a bit.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it showed that science fiction and movies in space could be exciting and visually spectacular as well as being scientific and whatnot. It made science fiction films a little more dirty, a little more realistic, a little more gritty. Whereas when you see like Star Wars and you see Star Trek, the ships are very clean, except for the Millennium Falcon. But like the ships are very clean.
And well, that's like Bachelor Pad dirty. Like I'm
Yeah.
more concerned about what a black light will show in there than I am like the ship in Aliens.
Yeah, but like aliens were like truckers in space. Star Trek was like they were the Navy. Star Wars was the Air Force. So it was like aliens was really more of like a private company. It was really more of how real people would be if they had a job in space, and that's what aliens kind of showed was that real people can be in space doing real things, that space didn't have to be soldiers, that it could be, truck drivers, it could be taxi cab drivers, it could be, delivery boys.
Do
Real
you
talk.
guys do you guys think it's an action movie or just a sci-fi movie? Because I happen to think it's an action movie, and I think it's one that's overlooked when people start talking about, well, what are some of the best action movies out there?
Do
But
I think that Aliens is an action film?
Is it an action film, or would you consider it something else first?
I'd say sci-fi first.
Okay.
Yeah, because it does take place on a ship and on a different planet, and it does really kind of work on what Alien was. That that until you see them all, until like the Space Marines actually go into full effect, it is very much of a thriller, almost horror-like. There is a lot of suspense. There's a lot of waiting for something to happen to jump out and scare you. And it's when they finally start falling back and shooting and showing Ripley how to use the gun is really when it starts turning into an action film.
No. Yeah, you're right. The more you describe the horror elements to it, the more I start to lean towards that.
Yeah, but it's not that it's all horror or that it's all science fiction or that it's all action. It melds all three of those things together beautifully, and that's why, that's a great game changer for science fiction films because it showed that you could mix genres successfully. And that back in the 70s was kind of a difficult thing because if you look at what they had before, they had Star Trek, which kind of was actiony, but it was kind of a like they always build it as like Wagon Train to the Stars, or you have like 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is a guy exploring, and even the first Star Trek film was kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where it was kind of long, kind of drawn out, a little boring, and it's about you know how we kind of screwed ourselves more than something coming to attack us.
As a die-hard, like super like Trekkie, that movie is god awful. I mean,
I don't
I
know
Which
hate
one?
the
the
first one.
the the first, very first, not the rebooted J.J. Abrams one, the very
Oh,
first
Yeah, yeah.
Star Trek one.
There are great elements to that, like seeing the Enterprise for the first time.
It's a an hour and a half series of glory shots to the Enterprise.
There is a lot of that going.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like everything before they get onto the Enterprise is good, and then everything after they figure out what the main bad guy is good. All that stuff in the middle, which would actually be the second act, is very drawn out and a little boring, and it could be trimmed down.
I always sum that movie up to like Friends Like This. It's a movie about basically the main villain or the main crew of the
Enterprise.
not well crux, I guess. The crux of the movie
Yeah.
is them showing up in front of a giant anus and waiting to be let in. Because that's exactly what that scene is.
Yeah, and they do call it the orifice, so.
Yeah, it's just bug the hell. That movie is god awful. Wrath of Khan is so like the disparity there between the two is just words do not describe.
Well, basically, as far as I go, I love. I don't love the first one, and I don't love the fifth one. All the other ones are really good, as far as the just original cast goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really actually like. Um,
Wait, you say the fifth one?
I said I don't like the fifth one.
What? The fifth one is. Hang on. There was the first one, and then there were the two directed by Nimoy.
There was the 2 is Wrath of Khan, 3 is the Search for Spock, 4 is the Voyage Home. That's where they go back in time to the 1980s and find the whales.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I get it.
5 is the
5 is
Final
the Shatner
Frontier,
one.
which is directed by Shatner, and then 6
Written
is
by Shatner.
directed by Shatner.
No, written and directed by Shatner. That's why it's so bad.
Either way, he's not a very good director. And then the next
He
one.
wrote that piece of shit too.
He wrote it after
The
a lot of arguing with the studio and his fellow castmates. Like Nimoy and Bones did not like the original script because it meant them turning on Kirk.
Well, the whole thing was that it was a case of monkey see, monkey do. Nimoy directed one, so Shatner had to direct one. He couldn't do one.
Yeah.
But
No, Shatner.
yeah, number
Yeah,
6.
Nimoy's an actual artist. That's the thing.
But the Undiscovered Country was really good. I think that might be second only to Wrath of Khan, and I'm not sure which one I like better. Some days it's one, some days it's the other. But
I don't have problems with it. I mean, I probably don't hold it as high in esteem, but it's a solid movie. I liked it.
It was the best movie for them to go out on, and I thought it was their goodbye, and I thought it was done very well.
I will give you that. The final sequence of that movie, the final kind of like they deliver the ambassador was something like that.
The Klingon ambassador, yeah.
And then the leaving. I thought that was very, very good. Well done.
But the whole thing, they did it more of an action film than it was more actiony, I think, than Wrath of Khan. And Wrath of Khan had some good action to it, but it was a little less with the submarine battle and a little more with like the intrigue and whatnot. And I thought just all around it was a good story, and it was well acted and it was well directed.
I think my problem with that particular movie is that it was supposed to, at the beginning, Kirk still very much is distrustful and dislikes the Klingons, and there was supposed to be this great journey for him coming to realization that a new time was coming where they could finally sort of have like peaceful communication and coexistence. I just never got that. I just kind of got like one scene he was against him, and then the next he wasn't. I never got that journey of it. I guess I never got. Maybe that was Shatner's folly or fault, but.
It wasn't that he ever liked the Klingons. It was that he in this realization saw that he was no better than the Klingons, is what it really kind of boiled down to. Is because he was so upset with them, and then he found out, oh, they're actually just like us, where they're really upset with us, and they want to perpetrate a war. And his whole thing was that he didn't have respect for the Klingons afterwards. It's that it made him look at himself and his prejudices.
So he's angry at someone for being racist.
He's angry at himself for being just as racist as the people he's racist against.
Gotcha.
because
Eh,
in a way it's the great equalizer. Racism
see,
is the great equalizer.
see, there's something that you don't get. Like that point you just made right there. I didn't get that from Shatner at all in the movie, and I didn't get that from anybody, to be honest.
You get it more from Spock with the way he treats Kirk than you get it from Kirk himself.
Yeah, yeah. But I didn't get like a lot of like. I don't know if it was just the way that the actors played the Klingons, but I always got sort of like maybe Shatner's a little right about, or Kirk's a little right about his distrust, because they're kind of seedy, or at least seem seedy, like right until the end.
Well, that's the thing. Everything that he says in his captain's log that's used against him in the court drama is true. They are distrustful. There was that Klingon who attacked the counselor's ship with the bird of prey that could fire while cloaked. So everything that Kirk said about the Klingons was right about that particular Klingon, but it wasn't right about the Chancellor because he actually wanted to go to Earth and discuss negotiations and discuss peace. It's all a big allegory for how America,
Nerds.
yes, it is all a big allegory about how America viewed Russia, and this came out shortly after the Berlin Wall came down. So it was supposed to reflect those kind of viewpoints. But yes, Shatner's acting ability wasn't quite up to par to convey all of that.
Yeah.
And that's why Wrath of Khan is better because they had a better director and they got better performance out of Shatner, and it didn't have quite all the political overtones that Undiscovered Country had.
Yeah. Better than any of the Next Generation movies?
Yes. Generations. The only good thing I liked about Generations was the saucer.
Shatner dying?
No, was the saucer section crash landing into the planet. Even Shatner's death felt hollow and useless.
Because
Like
I'm pretty sure he gave them hell the whole time. Like, I don't want to die. I'm James T. Kirk. Why are you killing off my character?
he wrote a book after that that was a continuation of Shatner's character and how he came back to life.
I know. I've heard. I haven't read the book, but I remember reading that, just going, "How vain can one man be?"
Yeah, but Generations, the last one that they did, not Insurrection. What was the last Next Generation movie?
No, it was Insurrection.
No, it wasn't Insurrection. It was something
Oh,
else.
you're right. No, you're right. It was something else.
Insurrection was the one where they're on the planet that caused them to age backwards, which was okay. The final battle scene between the Enterprise and the other Federation ship was good.
I know the last one because it was an early role of one Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I forget which one that is. The only really good Next Generation movie was First Contact, and that was basically because it was a zombie film on the Enterprise.
Okay.
No, that's
Nemesis.
Nemesis. That was it. And yeah, it was an interesting movie, but it wasn't a good movie for them to go out on.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why they went out on it, but no, it wasn't a good one. I was actually hoping that they would come up with a new TV series. I was really hoping somebody would do a Netflix series or a Hulu series for Star Trek and do it like 12 episodes and
Oh, that would be awesome.
do like a single story arc. I would love to do something like that and have it be like the way I envision it, Wesley Crusher, captain of the USS Endeavour, and that his ship goes out and it's their first and last mission, and at the end of the season the ship gets destroyed. But we go into the whole, does Wesley Crusher still have the power of the Traveler? And then the second season would be his mom fighting against the Starfleet to go out and try to find him and end up stealing a ship, kind of like how they went for the Search of Spock.
Mm.
And then they would, because there's this theory that William Riker still has the power of the Q, he just doesn't use it. and it would delve into that whether he actually has that power or not. For those of you who actually watch Star Trek and like the Next Generation, what did you think?
So,
So
so which
which of
of our
our
four viewers do you think that is?
We
well
had 4. Your racism drove off 3. We have 1. Hey, guy.
well you know what, I look at it like this: 2/3 of the population of this podcast like Star Trek, so maybe 2/3 of the population of the people who listen to this podcast like Star Trek.
No,
Yeah.
no, see, don't get me wrong. I enjoy, like, I've watched almost every single iteration of Star Trek. I just don't know it as in depth as you guys. That's the thing.
I just have a weird memory for things like that.
Well, the Next Generation was really, really good. And then Deep Space Nine came out, and I liked kind of the stuff that they did with it. I never saw the last 2 or 3 seasons of it. I really got to watch that. Um, Voyager came out, and I didn't watch it at the time because it was just too much. It just, they kind of saturated the market with it. But I ended up watching it like maybe 10 years later, and that's actually a really good show.
Series.
Series, thank you. And one of our friends who was in the Air Force, Bob, um, he actually told me that he dislikes Voyager because he dislikes the character of Captain Janeway because it reminds him of the female officers he had to deal with in the Air Force. And I'm like, well, that's a good
Okay.
thing because that means that, her character was pretty accurate. He's like, yeah, I was accurate and she did a really good job of it, but I hate those bitches. And I'm like,
That's a
okay, Bob.
healthy attitude to have.
Well, yeah, it's the whole, if women have power, they're bitches. If guys have power, they're just powerful. So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I always liked the idea of that matriarchal character uh, on board a starship. And maybe Kate Mulgrew wasn't the best person to put in there, but I thought she did a really good job, and I enjoyed her version of the captain.
I really enjoyed Deep Space Nine. I didn't like Voyager just because of the whole plot and premise of it was just a little out there. Like somehow a new experimental ship and half the crew is like rebels and then they get stranded out all the way in the middle of nowhere. I thought they were reaching.
The basic concept for that show was to get them to explore again, because the producers felt that the exploration portion of Star Trek kind of got lost, especially with Deep Space Nine, it being kind of a stationary object. But then, did you
At
ever
the end of
watch?
the day, like the original Star Trek was procedural, and
Yeah,
Deep Space Nine is as procedural as you get.
yeah. Did you ever see Enterprise?
Yeah.
I watched that and it was not good. I was quite disappointed with a lot of that.
So was I.
It was like they came up with a good idea for the season, and I thought, okay, you can run with that, like for the first season. And then the second season, they completely like changed it all up. And I'm like, okay, I see kind of what you're going with that. Go ahead, run with that. And then the third season, they changed everything up, and I'm like, oh my god, if you guys just kind of stuck with something and fleshed it out, you might have actually had something good there. But every season, they kind of started from scratch.
You know who's in the next one, right?
I know it's the Fast and the Furious director directing it. Oh, isn't what's his face from Breaking Bad supposed to be the bad guy?
No, it's Idris Elba instead.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, keep bringing in British TV actors.
Awesome. Whatever happened to good old fashioned? Like the Emmys, I feel like should be just like American actors because everybody else is so big on British actors.
Because British actors are good actors.
Well,
They're all Shakespearean actors. Every single person in Britain
that
is a
doesn't make them better actors, though.
every single person in Britain is a Shakespearean actor. They just do other jobs and they're just waiting for the lottery for their name to be pulled so they can go and start acting.
Yeah, we've had this conversation before. I remember you saying that at some
Yeah.
point in the past.
That's how I view Britain and their actors. So like, their shit is old hat there, but here those guys are pretty good, and they are good. Like Cumberbatch is really good,
We
and
got some pretty good actors over here. Have you seen Breaking Bad?
yes, I have, and Jesse Pinkman and Walter White are amazing actors. And I think Walter White, both his off-screen attitude, he seems like he would be the best guy to fucking have a beer with and sit down, and he would be the best guy to have as a guest on our podcast. If I could ever get him, I would probably
To
just
get to get him to actually listen to this show, where would he have to go?
he would have to go over to mof.ninja, or he could go and search it on iTunes or Stitcher. But he would seem like the kind of guy that would be just like us. He would just bullshit with us. Especially, did you see the video of him dissing on some guy at Comic-Con?
That was funny.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. When he dropped the microphone, that was even better. But he
Just
seems
getting
like
crowd.
that kind of guy. And it's like, and Jesse Pinkman, have you seen BoJack Horseman?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is an amazing cartoon, and his character is phenomenal in that.
You know, they're coming out with a second season.
Well, it's already on Netflix. I watched it yesterday.
Oh, okay. That's a serious thing to rewatch.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Have you seen it, Jamal?
I have not. No.
It's a great TV show. It's basically the story of a horse who just wants to be liked by America.
Seems like an odd premise, but okay.
Well,
It's funny.
a cartoon, but you will the first couple of episodes you're going to be all like, what the hell is this shit? By third episode you're going to be at the edge of your seat going, oh my God, what's going to happen to him now?
Ugh.
No, it is I don't know if I'm going to say every bit as good as Daredevil, but it is really fucking good.
What's Daredevil? That show that somebody didn't watch?
What? I watched it.
No, he just didn't come on that episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the episode you went to the strip club instead, right?
Yeah.
And
That
you
was
know
fun.
what?
That was the day I went to the titty bar accident.
I'm not going to fault you on that one.
Neither will I. You
Had I had the chance to go to the titty bar, I probably would have done that too. Instead of
I mean,
because, titties.
it was not meant. It was funny.
But okay,
The
so
titties.
it's getting about that time, fellas. So
Yeah.
so Jamal did this one. I believe I did the one before, so it's Mario's turn to pick a movie.
Nicolas Cage. We're all gonna watch Wicker Man.
Oh dear God, no.
Can we just watch each pick a Nicolas Cage
No.
movie?
No. We're all gonna watch Wicker Man.
I have
It's not even the most Nicolas Cagey Nicolas Cage
Okay,
movie.
okay, hold on.
Bees.
It's-
Oh my
all
God.
right,
Bees.
I'm gonna give you guys a choice. It's either gonna be Wicker Man, or we're gonna do a conspiracy theory documentary or movie.
Can I watch the movie Conspiracy Theory?
No,
Oh,
it has to be a legitimate conspiracy theory that's going around, and you
I
have to
don't-
watch either a documentary or a movie based off of one of those theories.
Does it have to be like? How old of a movie can we go to, or does it not matter?
You know what? That's fine. I'll watch.
For
I'll watch an
conspiracy
Area
theory?
51 thing. I don't mind doing that. I'll watch an Area 51 thing.
All right. You guys are that against Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
funny.
I mean, you chose Wicker Man. I mean, if you'd have chose like Next or Knowing or even
What's that one where he does the alphabet?
he does the alphabet.
Yeah, he goes through the whole alphabet in Nicolas Cage cadence and tones. A B C, like the whole thing.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
have no idea what you're talking
No,
about.
go on to YouTube and the kid from this kid on Big Bang Theory who does a spot on impression of him. Like he really reenacts that scene like line for line. It's hilarious. Conan O'Brien. Like he was on Conan O'Brien when he did it too.
No, I've seen the scene on like YouTube and stuff, but I have no idea what movie that's from.
Yeah.
But even like Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider the Spirit of Vengeance or whatever the fuck that crappy ass second one was. God, that was a horrible movie.
I never saw those. Those looked miserable.
It had Luther in it, the guy who's gonna be the villain in the new Star Trek movie. What's his name?
Idris Elba.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
had him in it, and you would think, oh, Nicolas Cage, who's Academy Award winning actor, and that guy who's a British actor, being in a movie together, all those
Again-
guys will light up the screen. But no, they showed Ghost Rider peeing fire, and it wasn't even like a main portion of the show. It was a cutaway. It was a non sequitur Family Guy like cutaway of Ghost Rider peeing fire.
Another subtle dig at Family Guy, but that's fine. Like again, being British does not automatically make you a good actor, and I don't think they have the best actors on the planet. But I will watch an Area 51 thing for this.
I will probably watch something about the Bible.
I'll figure something out. All right, so we're gonna do conspiracy theories next week.
Yes.
All
Sure.
right, sounds like a plan. Shady
Okay.
plan, but sounds like a plan.
And
Let's take notes too, because if you're gonna throw a conspiracy
Yeah,
theory
no,
out there,
you gotta know exactly what you're talking about.
like I want you to walk me into this and make me believe in that conspiracy theory.
meh.
This might not be a good thing, but all right.
Okay.
All right, so Mario,
Left Out Ninja.
where can one go to find information on old episodes?
Reddit.com/delightfully chubby.
No,
Just
that's
for
where they
that,
can,
I'm actually gonna look that up.
that's where they can find pictures of you and your family, apparently.
Reddit.
No, it's actually fat cats. I've been on it for like the past 5 minutes just looking at fat cats.
.com/delightfully
It's
chubby.
it's /r/delightfully chubby. It's literally nothing but fat cats. Come on, Jamal, do it. Do it.
It's fat kitties.
See?
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that was the best response ever. However, to the viewers out there, you can go to mof.ninja and listen to all of our shenanigans. To the 6. Wait, how many viewers do we got? Like 7
What?
people. How many? I was asking you a question.
About what?
Yeah.
How many viewers we actually have?
I don't know, 80 something.
Like one left. You scared off 4 of them.
No, that's fine.
3 of
So
them.
to the people out there that want to listen to us and keep listening to us, you can as well go to iTunes and Stitcher, and I'm assuming download it or possibly just stream it at that point in time. Listen to everything, and listen to Jamal's Selcha voice and Alex's shrieking voice, and then just go from there, people.
Is my voice really shrieky?
No, it's just funny because it demasculates you at that point in time.
Yo. It's okay, buddy. All right.
What was that, Jamal?
It's okay, buddy. It's all right. Don't listen to him.
I think he was cooing.
Dude, you had like a vowel movement. You just
Because I was gonna say something else and I stopped.
Do you want me over there? What happened?
I just dropped my computer.
Well, you shouldn't do that. It's important.
I got my phone. Speaking of, I need to charge it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to another exciting episode of. Wait, what are we? Makers of Film. There we go.
Makers on Film.
Of in
All around.
just somewhere near film.
Any way we can get it.
And
That is pretty much your motto for every date you've been on.
Yeah. Like it's not
Wait.
yours or any other males.
wait, me or Jamal?
Well, Jamaal because he said it, but
Oh, gotcha. All right.
pretty much yours too.
Hey, I'm dating.
Ish.
And how is that going for you?
It's going well, actually.
Good for you, buddy.
How long have you been seeing this woman who you've never mentioned to me outside of the podcast?
That bullshit. October will be 1 year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's like just before October we started talking, so October will be 1 year that we've been dating. Boyfriend, girl. I don't even know the nomenclature of what it is. We've been seeing each other for a year. Easiest way of putting it.
What would she most want to hear you say right now on this podcast? What would you call it?
What would she most want to hear?
Keep it clean, Mario.
I'm trying to think.
Cleanish. Just don't start moaning.
Babe, I promise I won't push anything onto the floor off your bed now.
Do you do that?
Yeah, and it pisses her off and it makes me laugh.
And now we just got a little bit of insight into your world. Okay.
What?
Well, no, now wait a minute. What kind of stuff does she keep on her bed? Like pillows and stuff, or
Yeah,
is
like
it like
her pillows, her stuffed animals, and like her phone charger? I'll just push them off the bed, and I'll like look at her straight in the eyes while I'm doing it, and then just like slowly push it off the bed.
You're like a terrible cat.
Yeah,
You're a terrible cat.
Funny as shit to me.
You don't just grab the bottom of the mattress and flip it over like a table.
No, because actually today we just got a bed frame, box spring. Yeah, a bed frame and a box spring for her. So prior to that, it was just a bed and like a little cushiony thing on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'd throw it on the floor, it would just like drop a little bit, no big deal. But now that she's like, what, a good 2 feet off the ground. Like if I push something on the ground, you're gonna know it's getting pushed on the ground.
Okay, so does she listen to the podcast?
God no.
Okay, good. So what you should do next is grab the comforter or the blankets or whatever, and then do like that magic trick where it's the table and the tablecloth, and you whip the tablecloth out from underneath all the settings. You should do that with the bedding. Just whip it out from underneath the stuffed animals and the pillows.
Actually, my favorite thing to do is I grab I do the same thing, but I do it really slowly. But I grab it and I just start spinning like while I'm on the ground, so it all just encompasses me like I'm a giant Mexican burrito. And like I pull I'll pull the mattress and everything with me, and it's slowly moving, and it really upsets her, and it makes me laugh.
Well, a message to Mario's girlfriend: if you ever listen to any of these podcasts, maybe what you need to do is go out and buy yourself like a giant stuffed animal, like one of those 6-foot stuffed animals, and then sleep with that. It makes Mario sleep on the floor.
Babe, don't listen to him.
No, listen to me. She's sitting there right now. It's probably not like going to be anytime soon, but she's going to listen to these, and she's going to be sitting there right now thinking to herself, "Huh, I wonder how much those stuffed animals are. They're $50. You can go over to like Walgreens and get them for $50, at least here. I don't know how much they are in LA, but if you contact me through our website, mof.ninja, I will get one for you and send it to you so you can sleep with it. You can even call it Mario. Get Mario's clothes and dress it in Mario's clothes, and then just sleep
Why
with
the fuck are you trying to replace me? Don't do that.
it. I'm not trying to replace you. I'm trying to make you sleep on the floor.
I hate you.
She can love you. See, what I'm not telling her to do is to get, a dildo and a strap on and put it on the bear and then have sex with that, and that way she can cut you out altogether.
Too far.
I'm not telling her to do that. I'm just telling her to.
I'm pretty sure I'm better than that. I may be new to the whole like sex thing, but I'm pretty sure I'm better than that.
Well, let's take a poll. If any of our listeners think that Mario, just from the sound of his voice, might be better in bed than a stuffed animal wearing a strap on, why don't you go ahead and leave a message on mof.ninja. Go over to mof.ninja and leave a message.
I'm glad that we're having this conversation about strap-ons, and it doesn't occur to you to maybe to not say, well, it's ironic that you just go, let's take a poll.
Oh.
Titty bar. All right, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
It's midnight. I'm going to go hit the hay.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to get out of here, too.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always been a pleasure.
MOF.ninja.
MOF.ninja.
I love most of you.
That's okay. Nobody likes you.
Words hurt, Alex.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mario. Your girlfriend seems to like you.
Thank you.
Which
my mom says I'm handsome.
Yeah, well, she's supposed to. She's your mom.
Shut up. All right, you too.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go hit the hay.
Okay.
Good night, guys.
Talk to you
Good
next.
night.
Peace.
Join the makers each week as they discuss film, TV, and pop culture. To learn more about them, go to mof.ninja. This is Jason Statham saying goodbye.